Well, hello there. Welcome. It's so good to
Hello,
see
Judy.
everybody. And welcome to Transformation Tuesday, where we come together and every Tuesday since March of 2020, we've come together and to shift and uplift the planet. And there's so many people who have joined us over the years as we perhaps dive into something that you may need to hear. So this month, in this, we are in July. Today is July 29th, 2025. Let's take a deep breath into this day and this life that we choose to live. Whew. All right, there you go. Well, so for the month of July, my name is Judy Matejczyk, Life Master Consultant and Award-winning Paradigm Shifter, where we shift and uplift the planet. So this month of July, we've been bringing to you some content, and it's content from this curriculum called Standing Firm While Your World is Shaking. And just for a little recap before I introduce Chris, our guest speaker, but we're talking about when your world is shaking. Now, when the world is shaking, perhaps something is going on with you or the world. In Texas here, 3 4 weeks ago, 4th of July, there were the floods, and it was shaking. We had lost quite a few people here. And one of the two things will happen during this time. The first week, we talked about the dark night of the soul, where it is so important to look at it, put down everything that you're going through. Very important to look at. The second week, last week, we were talking about this hero's journey. And this week, as we're unfolding and knowing that the content of your life is curriculum for your evolution, we're talking about harvesting the good. So when we find your world is shaking, one of two things are going to happen. Either your ego will make up a victim story about what happened, or we will frame this situation in a way that's empowering to us. So if we let our ego attribute, we attribute blame to ourselves or others, and boy, we see that all the time. We're most likely thinking about the circumstance as if it's happening to us. But when we approach the difficulty from that mindset that this dark time is happening for us, there's this feeling that we could take this energy and invest it in energy for growth. So this whole dark night's here to help you discover and deliver this whole greater version of you, because the content of your life is curriculum. And one other thing before I introduce our guest speaker, Chris, unless you have some things to surmount that look bigger than you will never know that you are bigger than them. Yes. And so when you neutralize that emotional charge, you free that energy to be used to move you forward. Sound good? Are you ready for this third week in harvesting the good? So I want to introduce you to my friend and my colleague, Chris Barber. So Chris, when I first met you, where are you? There you are. When I first met you, we were at Dream Builder Live in California in January. Yet another, the fires were happening, right?
Yes, yes,
And
exactly.
right. And where my mind was, well, maybe we better not go out, but it's too scary. And we went out anyway and met all you Californians, and I was so grateful for that. And met you sitting on a couch. And then I saw you decided to do what I do. become a coach. So let me tell you a little bit about Chris. So Chris has been in the transformation business as a hairdresser for 40 years. So in 2018, he took his journey to a deeper level and became a certified transformational life coach with the Brave Thinking Institute. And his passion is helping people discover habits and beliefs that hold them back. So, through Chris's experiences as a gay man with being adopted, substance abuse, addiction, and finding self love, he discovered true transformation begins on
Hmm.
that inside and radiates out to every area of life. So I would love to have you come on in here, Chris, and talk
Amen.
about a little bit about your experience, strength, and hope, and where you have taken a situation or circumstance and done some transformation. So come on here, Chris.
Thank you, Judy. It was a pleasure to have to be with you today. Excuse me. As you were talking about the victim story, and I realized how long I had been hanging on to the victim story in my own life. From when I was a small child, being adopted, but not knowing I was adopted till I was 23. There was always there was a felt energy by me that there was my mom and dad, me, and then something. And I just never really felt connected to them. They loved me. I loved them. It was a wonderful life. They did absolutely the best they could with what they had for me and with me. But there was just that feeling of something is not quite right. There was I don't want to say dishonesty because I don't that word sometimes is a little muddy. But anyway, um, and I created my own family with addiction, and that became a whole thing of habits and behaviors and associations and mindsets. And then when I found out that I was adopted when I was 23, well, that was the why. That was the why. Okay, well, that's why I've done all this. I've gone from smoking to using methamphetamine and a needle for, I mean, I just took the addiction gambit all the way to the maximum I could. And but that was my why, because I was not wanted, not loved. Even though I was wanted and was loved, I didn't feel that there was just something that was missing. And then one day after my husband and I had returned home from Palm Springs, beautiful weekend, but I had again drank too much, spent too much money, blacked out a couple of times, and we're at home now, and I'm putting clothes away in the closet, and I'm feeling physically sick because I poisoned myself, basically, but it more so emotionally sick because that man in the living room that I loved so much, I knew that I had embarrassed him. I knew that I had embarrassed us, and I knew that I embarrassed myself. And I was just feeling very, very, very low, very sad. But at the same time, it was kind of familiar because this wasn't the first time this happened. I'd had a long pattern with addiction, as I said. And as I'm standing there, I hear this voice that says, maybe you don't need to do that anymore. And there was a hand that I sensed extended to me from my right side. And I remember laughing, going, yeah, right. Like that could happen. But it wasn't my usual two voices that I would hear. The one that would say, oh, wow, you really stepped in at this time. I can't believe what you did. Or the other one that said, or would say, you know what? You've been through this before. In a couple of days, this will all blow over and it'll be fine. But this voice was non-judgmental, was just merely an offering. And it wasn't saying anything about alcohol. It just, maybe you don't need to do this anymore. But I knew what the this was. And I decided to take that hand. And okay, if I can do this for a week. And so I started. I didn't need to share that with my husband because he had heard the I drank too much and I need to change my behavior story before. So I went this road alone. Um, and still in, I mean, in my relationship, but I was doing this alone. This was my journey to do alone. And since I'm the director of our social life in our relationship, and I had built, around the drinking and all of that, I'd built a great circle of friends and behaviors of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And my husband enjoyed that. He liked the social life and all of that. So I didn't want my behavior, my new choice, to affect his life in a negative way. So I went along with that. Went out Friday, Saturday, Sunday night with our friends, just didn't drink. And I did that for about 6 months until that really was no longer serving me at all. And during that 6 months, my husband and I began to get in touch with our spiritual side. I was raised Catholic, he was raised Southern Baptist, so we both had an awareness of something greater than us, which is a beautiful foundation. Just how it was given to us, what didn't work for either one of us. So we bounced around from spiritual center to uh, Unitarian Church to Episcopal Church for a period of time. And then we landed on a Center for Spiritual Living and the teachings of Ernest Holmes. And that just resonated with me. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm home. This is home to me. And it wasn't 3, 4 months after that that I discovered, with that openness, with that new feeling of a safe place to land, somewhere where I'm understood, somewhere where I can understand myself. I was introduced to Mary Morrissey and Brave Thinking Institute. And again, I had that feeling of home. It was just, and the journey just continues and continues and continues.
So you also well, I like what you said is that you said, well, I'll do this for a week. Like it doesn't, and you let yourself
Hmm.
experiment. And so the other thing I wanted to ask you is, you do hair.
I
You're a
do.
hairdresser.
I do
And
that.
when people come in and um, and I also know your vision too, what you would love too. So when people come in and they're feeling really, really down and depressed, and they want you to make them look good on the outside.
Yes,
Tell me a little bit about that that
that
process.
process.
You know what I mean? What it
I
is?
do. I
Yeah, you
do.
know what I
I
mean.
do. I
That's
do.
what.
Yes.
Help me.
So one of the things that I love and about myself and I pride myself on is anybody who walks through the door of our salon, and it's a big salon. There's a lot of people that work there. There's a lot of people that come in the front door. Anybody that walks through the front door of that salon, I feel is a guest of mine, even though that may not be my client. But I want to create right from greeting somebody that soft place to land. And so when I have my client in my own chair, I create that soft place to land, whether it's sitting just listening for a second with just my hands on their shoulders and just listening during the consultation. And then we go do a shampoo and there's a massage in the conditioning process. So it helps to relax, helps to create that feeling of being, my intention is for them to feel cared for. And once we get back to the chair, if I have noticed also through consultation techniques and through Brave Thinking Institute and coaching techniques, how to have evocative conversations. What I've been missing up until now, is a way of study of curriculum to offer. I can offer a next step. I can offer a, what do you think about, or have you ever thought about, or have you ever tried? Because I can sense something stuck. I can sense where it's stuck. I can hear where it's stuck. Sometimes I can see where it's stuck. And just by offering that different perspective, it again opens up their mind to a possibility. And you can see when someone has an aha moment. You can see when it hits. You can see if it hits here, or you can see if it hits here.
Ah, I just want to read something that someone sent me just today about aha moments.
Mm,
The aha moment is not the first time we're exposed to this shift, because you're talking about this shift in this week of what's going on out there, what's going on here in Texas. We want to shift right away. It's not, it's in its own timing. So the aha moment is not the first time we're exposed to this paradigm shift that just gave us a pause and opened our mind to a new revelation. It's more like the thousandth time.
yeah. Yes, I would agree. I would agree.
And the only distinction is that in the moment of the aha, our resistance lessened enough that we can finally hear it.
Yes,
And
exactly.
yes, and it's because you took the time to connect with physical touch, listening. Yes. Let me read on. I love this. It feels like equal parts absurdly funny and true. Oh, I've heard that book. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then she also goes on, the aha moment is an advancement in clarity.
Mm, yes,
So
absolutely.
basically, what you're giving people is they might have been, not might, we're, and we're all stuck in story
Yeah.
sometimes. But you're giving them an aha moment. So tell me about an aha moment in your life where things are totally, I mean, I know you just told us that first part,
Mm.
but lately, like, where was it an aha moment where something's got to change, but there was that fear involved, like,
Oh,
if I change, I'm gonna just lose everything.
mm. I've had two of them this year already.
Great.
Yes. The first one was at Dream Builder Live in January this year. And I came to Dream Builder Live. I have been a Dream Builder coach since 2018. And I'd been to many Dream Builder Lives, many coaching events. And I had seen the lanyard that everyone is wearing that says Life Mastery Consultant. And I knew that was mine. But I did not, I was afraid to pull the trigger. I was looking at the finance. I was looking at what it's going to cost me this way, not really looking at what it's costing me,
What does that mean?
not really looking at what it's costing me. Well, for instance, whenever I would go to an event and I would see that lanyard and I want that. So it's costing, I'm having a mindset right then about what my level is and what that level is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And I knew I wanted that. So this year I said I'm making a big decision. And I signed up. I leveled up. And I thought that was a big move until later this year when I went to another event and there was an opportunity to go for their highest level of coaching. And I have a vision, and it's beautiful because I don't have any idea how I'm going to be able to do it.
Well, before we go into that,
Yeah.
let's go into the importance of the where you're talking about that. Like most people that are listening to this, they're coaches, but
Sure.
like they're the where there's that feeling of not deserving to have that life, that whole fear of if I go against everything else out there, I'm going to lose everything.
Yeah.
And and that we talk that and is this is so important right now with harvesting the good. I'm like 2 or 3 weeks ago, yeah, we knew there was something good that was going to happen from this.
But there's no way you could see it at that point.
No, and it's so important like there's this divine timing, and none of it makes sense.
Hmm.
It's easier to stay here in
Yes.
safe, like
Yes.
you were talking about that safetiness,
It's exactly that safe. Exactly that safe. Because, well, for one, I felt it would disrupt my life. I
right?
felt it would disrupt my life. And disrupting my life affects my husband. It affects our lifestyle. It affects our little doggies. I mean, and then it goes out from there. But also not taking action on that affects a lot more.
So where do you get the courage? That's just it. And you and I also do some other type of work. It's that courage to change and courage to be commit. I think we're talking about courage and commitment
Hmm. Yes.
to
Yeah.
change.
Where do I get that?
Well, that's just it. It's like that serenity prayer. You talked about that hand of God, grant me
Yes, absolutely.
serenity to.
Trusting that yeah, and trusting that I'm not on this journey alone.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, trusting that I'm not on this journey alone. And I know I'm not on this journey alone. And these things wouldn't be revealed to me if they were not for me.
And trusting that, right?
Yes, and trusting that. Just being aware of how it feels too. Like, would I really love it? Would I really love that?
Yeah.
Is it going to cause me to stretch? Yes. Am I going to need help? Yes. Is there good in it for others? Yes.
I'm picturing you working on someone's hair, right? And they've just made a decision to totally, do something totally wild and different, knowing that they're
That's
going to live with it.
right. Yeah, yeah. Well, when we just get, trust me, I go through a thorough consultation when someone comes in and just wants to make a radical change, because there's a reason why that is, and it's not about the hair. It's not about the hair at all.
Oh, tell me more.
It's usually about a life event. Um, one of my clients came in, she's Thai, and someone very dear to her passed, and there was she had mentioned a tradition to have to change her hair drastically because of this passing of a loved one. I'm not familiar, I've never heard of this before, but she went to someone that was very unskilled to do this. And she ended up with a very off color and a perm. And it was really bad. And she came to me to rectify that situation. So I have a really thorough conversation with somebody before we venture into something like that, because they're my client. And if I'm as a professional, what I'm going to do with you, for you, and with you, if it's not good, I'm going to be the one that's going to have to fix this too, or change this, or alter this. So I need to, I'm not going to put myself too far out where I can't back myself out of it again.
Wow. So tell me
Maybe
what
that's playing safe.
exactly happened.
Maybe that's playing safe. Maybe that's playing smart. I believe it's playing smart.
Yeah. So what happened with her?
Well, it turned into her hair was already chemically double chemical process of a perm and a color. That was a very bizarre color. So we went in with a gloss color that muted the orange that her hair was, and then did a keratin treatment, which smoothed out the perm. Didn't take the perm out, but it smoothed out the perm and imparted a beautiful shine and gave her a new cut with a great shape.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, she felt much better. She felt much better, and it was still a drastic change from what. So it is honoring her original intention.
I just had to tell you this story. I was talking to someone who was um, really at the depths of depression, right? A couple weeks ago, and came into like this meeting that we were having, and she just looked gorgeous. The hair, the nails, everything, and just really had it looking wise all together.
Hmm.
And she totally fell apart. And I was able to talk to her, just give her a hug, like you said, like that. Oh, that fizz. Okay,
Yeah.
we're okay, and just gave her a hug, and we ended up laughing at the after. There's like, the breakdown, the dark night of the soul took about 5 minutes of breaking
Yeah.
down finally, and
And
then
then the
we were
breakthrough.
laughed,
Yeah. Yeah.
and to we came up with a whole new saying. when you when you feel real shitty, you might as well look pretty.
You know what? May I take that because I'm gonna share that with a couple of people. I know they're going to love that.
Yeah, I mean, and then it was like immediately the connection, and because I usually look the other way. It takes me a lot, like, and then we laughed and laughed and laughed, but the connection was there. Like, we're not making fun of any, but seeing the positive.
Yeah.
I think that harvesting the good, seeing the positive in the person and letting them fall apart. I don't want to. And what Mary says, what I've learned over this years is like, it's not really falling apart. We're falling
Mm-mm.
together.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or falling open, breaking open. Yeah.
breaking open,
Breaking open. Yeah.
trusting the
Breaking open.
process.
Yeah. Feeling safe enough to break open, you know. Um, and I love that. My space that I do that segment of my transformation practice is within a salon, a big salon, but it's also a space off by itself. So I'm privy to an opportunity to have very important personal conversations without other people hearing, which is such a privilege.
So
And it was chosen for me, divinely chosen. Yes,
fun.
divinely chosen, indeed.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
So isn't it a blessing that we get to walk with people? And it
yeah.
doesn't matter. I mean, you go outside, it's just, oh, it's the it's January 29th, 2025. Oh, I was back in January 29, 2009, 2 seconds ago. Remember where we are at each time.
Yeah.
So I think, this is such a cool process. It's like we're harvesting the good and then taking the time, you guys, take the time to get in those journals and start harvesting the good before the beginning, new beginning. But look at this richness, what we're learning, no matter where we are. So I thought
I
this
love
is such good news. And so I have one other question to ask you. You ready?
that. Oh, yes,
Now, so you're in San Diego. San
I
Diego.
am. It is beautiful. I'm looking out my window right now of a space that is kind of a dream achieved moment, and looking out at our yard and the sun and the butterflies, the hummingbirds. It's heaven, absolutely heaven.
You created that.
Mm,
Yeah, manifest. So I ask this question of everybody that comes
mm,
in here. If you were driving down the highway and there's a billboard with you, so you know what this is coming. There's a billboard with your photo on it, and you have a specific message to give people. What would you have your message be that you would love to have everyone see on the billboard?
mm. There's one, the first one that came to mind is this is your time and the time is now. And then the other one is very simply, you are loved. You really are.
Yeah. Will you say that again?
You are loved. You really are. With three little periods after it. And this is your time and the time is now.
Well, we're going to put some energy on you.
Mm,
Okay. And all you need to do is receive because this is your time and you are loved, Chris.
mm.
So here's some energy coming straight to you. Yeah, there you go. Thank you for
Thank you.
taking the
Thank
time
you.
out to, spread your love.
What an honor. What an honor. And what a gift you are, Judy. What a gift you are.
Why, thank you.
Yes.
we keep on going, and I am so looking forward to coming to San Diego and having you do my
Oh,
hair.
oh, yes, 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 yes. I
Thank,
look forward to it.
yeah, thank you so much for being
Thank you.
a guest. Bye.